Aló, aló. Ya se escucha. Voy a subir un poquito el volumen de esta cosa. Ahí está. Ay, ya le voy a seguir un ratito. A ver si no me da tiempo, sueño temprano. Dije, como esta cosa. No había entrado porque me llegaron un par de proyectillos. Y luego me llegaron unas cosas de Amazon. Y me puse a armar. Bueno, a revisarlas y así, entonces ya no había tenido chance, luego el fin de semana estuve ocupado, pero a ver si entre hoy y el jueves termino este juego y yo espero el viernes tener mi compu chida para empezar el Doom Eternal. A ver, veamos. Que aquí la verdad es que no me acuerdo ni en qué me quedé, ¿eh? Ella se supone que me va a dar una misión, pero ah, creo que recuerdo que me dijo que regresaba después. Entonces me imagino que tengo que avanzar en la historia y después ya puedo empezar la misión de esta chica. No decía que regresaba con la señora, pero a ver, con esta no es, con esta sí. Estoy casi seguro que ya había acabado esta misión, ¿eh? No sé por qué me dice que
Where
regrese.
should we start? Over this way.
Mm,
Thank you for your help, and I hope you find Isa. I'm worried about her. I wish I knew why Isabella was trying to climb the cross. Maybe something about the cross can show you where Isa went.
a ver, examinemos.
There's an inscription. Look through me to find the way.
Oh, bueno, pues me imagino que es por allá, ¿eh? Ah, ¿qué es esto? Pero ¿será por aquí? Por aquí no se puede subir. Ah, ¿qué lado será? Mm, no creo que sea arriba. Chinga. Por aquí no creo que sea.
Hijo de nuestra amada Virgen.
Tendré que volver a subir. Podría ser de este lado. Hacia acá.
Tardaremos eternidades. ¿Cuántos años? Un paso a la vez. Un día a la vez. Como si tuviéramos elección.
A ver. Ah, chinga, tengo que ir hasta allá. A ver. Eso no era lo que decía. Decía que mirara a través de la cruz. A ver. Entonces tenemos que ir hasta allá. Ah, ok. Tenemos que seguirlas. Sí, aquí están todas marcadas. Ah, por acá. Ah, me voy a agarrar esto.
I can see another. I don't have enough space for that.
Por acá.
There's the next
Ah,
cross.
miren, esta parte no la he visitado. Vamos.
I can see another.
Miren, por acá. Sí, por acá hay varias cosas que no he checado, ¿eh? A ver, voy a ir por acá a ver qué encuentro. Ah, no saben qué, si ya pasé por aquí. Ah, no, olvídenlo. Aquí está cerrado. Debe ser el regreso. Ay, cabrón, este man, ¿qué está haciendo aquí?
Did you see that? It was a condor. Magnificent birds.
I must have missed it.
Some people around here think they're a good omen, but they're just birds.
People like to think good things will happen.
And that's fine, as long as they don't put all their hopes in it.
Ok. Muy bien, veamos. Entonces, insectito. Un documento. ¿Por qué no me dejó revisarlo?
There's the next cross.
Ok. Lo siento, mixes. Tenía que hacerlo.
I don't have enough space for that.
Aquí hay algo. Dice que estoy lleno. Se va a desperdiciar eso. A ver. ¿Qué más hay por aquí? Oro. A ver, aguante. Dejen reviso acá de este lado que dicen. Listo. Aquí no había nada. Solamente era la cuevita y ya. Acá debe de haber... Cóndor dice... Chinga. ¿Pero que hay que bajarlo o qué? Ah, sí. ¿Saben qué? Voy a tomarme esta cosa.
Looks like there's something here.
Y el otro. Listo.
Wait, I can push this.
¿Qué más? ¿Qué más? ¿Qué más?
A dead end.
Bueno, me imagino que este es como un switch. Ahí está.
Got it. Hello? When I first laid eyes on Angel de la Cruz, I knew I met a man of worth. When he spoke, my heart shook. Its tremors vibrated for days after his first sermon. That evening, God himself told me to set out to prove I was the chosen one. I left the next morning, seeking to prove my worth.
Ok. Vamos a buscar a Isabela. No se ve nada.
Isabella! Are you in here? Isabella!
Puedo usar armas, entonces... Puede que hay enemigos aquí. Está bien pinche alto. Vaya, vaya. ¿Pero qué es esto? ¿Y ahora? Ah, ya vi. ¿Qué? Pura... Ah, es que había agua, no, yo aventándome a lo güey. Qué baboso. Bueno, bueno que no me morí. A ver, vamos. Vamos aquí, una tumba.
Thank God.
¿O qué? ¿Te
I
pegaste o
don't
qué?
have enough space for that. There you are.
Yes. Who are you?
Guillermo sent me to find you. He's worried about you.
Poor Guillermo. He's probably killing himself with guilt, too. I guess we were both right. There was a hidden crypt, and I did have an idealized view of what it would be like.
How did you injure yourself?
I was on a rope when the tremor hit. The shaking threw me into the walls, the rope snapped, and I hit the water badly. I think my ankle's broken.
In order to get you out, I'll have to go back for help. It will take several people. What's so funny?
Can one of those people be Sarah? I'd love to see the look on her face when she has to admit that one of Manu's fantastic stories turned out to be true.
I'll suggest it to Guillermo. Now, I don't think I can get out the way I came in, so I'm gonna have to look for another way out. I'll be right back.
And I'll be right here.
Ok. Vamos a ver qué hay aquí. Debe ser una vestimenta o algo así. Sí. Cantus Gilded Vest. más. Chinga. A ver, ¿por dónde tenemos que pasar, amigos? Por aquí no. Chinga. Ah, por aquí abajo, mira. Ah. Bueno, aquí hay una trampa.
In preparation for the ultimate test, I have begun to explore the crypts and tombs found near the mission. They are challenging and dangerous, and I am slowly improving. My reflexes are quicker, I'm getting stronger, and I dare say my eyesight in the dark is improving. I know there are others trying to prove their worth to Brother de la Cruz, but they will not best me.
Ok. Allá ya había para dónde. Y había aquí otra zona. Vamos a ver a dónde lleva esta. Aquí hay más documentos.
I was not worthy. Forgive me for my hubris.
Qué sad. Ándale, no vamos a ir por aquí aún. O del otro lado. Pam, 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 pam. ¿Será este solo un ok, ya vi. Este lugar no lleva a ningún punto. A ver, ahora sí. Vamos para allá.
Lara, was that you?
It was me, don't worry. I have returned from my training, however, Brother de la Cruz has disappeared. The sisters of the mission have no idea where he went. No matter. I will wait for him to return. My heart is pure. My head is clear. I am ready for the trials, and I will prove to him I am the chosen one.
Okay.
I must be on the right path. The air is getting fresher.
Don't tease me. I've spent the night in a crypt.
Chinga. ¿Arriba? Sí. A ver, por aquí. Ya debe de haber algo, A ver, voy a echar un saltito. Ay, cabrón. Tenemos aquí un altar.
A wheel-lock pistol, never mass-produced and banned in the Holy Roman Empire. Ostentatiously decorated, a bit much for a missionary, but maybe a fitting weapon for an egoist such as Lopez. There's some damage to the pommel, but otherwise the weapon seems in fine condition.
Nice. Listo, otra historia completa. Ay, cabrón. Se me había olvidado de la trampa. Ah. Y adelante hay otra trampa. Ok. Hoy no hay forma de que no la pise. O solo salto. Ahí está. Vamos a abrir. Y luego acá.
Isabella, I see daylight. You'll be out of here in no time.
You're amazing. Thank you so much.
Mamá, para que bajen a rescatarla. Creo que es para acá. Listo. Ya, según yo ya estamos fuera. Sí. Al Guillermo. Mucho correr. Pero es Guillermo, ¿verdad?
Please tell me Isabella's okay.
She is, but she's hurt her ankle, so we'll have to go back and get her.
No. I could not stand to inconvenience you any further. And besides, Sarah tells me you have something important of your own to do. Please, let Isa's friends take care of her from here.
You'll need a couple of people and a lot of rope to get her out.
I'll round them up right away. Where is she exactly?
Take the main road across the river, then follow the crosses.
Wait, the crosses? Did she find something?
She found the crypt man who told her about.
She did? That's wonderful. Oh, I'm so happy for her. I should have gone with her, and I feel terrible about her ankle. But despite that, this is the adventure Isa's always dreamed of.
Gran
She
aventura.
also suggested that maybe Sarah could be a member of her rescue party.
Oh, that's a great idea. I'll make sure of it. And speaking of Manu and his crazy stories, if you're looking for something hidden around here, you should probably talk to him. He worked for Isa. He's usually hoarding coal around the mission. And thank you again for finding Isabella. I don't know what I would have done if...
Just make sure she gets back safe.
Ok. Ahora vamos a hablar con el morrito. Ah, no es un morrito, es un señor.
You must be Manu.
Who's that? Who's there?
She's the one who found the treasure.
Is that right, Diego? Well, what can I do for you?
I overheard you
Un
telling the
chiquito.
children about Maya ruins.
Finally, someone who pays attention.
Well, you were right about the crosses. Isabella followed them to a hidden crypt.
Ha! I knew it. No one ever listens to old Manu, but I was right.
So you were. And I bet you're telling the truth about those Maya ruins.
I recognize something in your voice. The thrill of discovery, of finding something someplace unseen for hundreds or even thousands of years.
There is something thrilling about that, isn't there?
There's no feeling like it. The taste of stale, dusty air still gets my heart racing. These modern people, these so-called realists, they close themselves off from such wondrous possibilities. They can't even imagine some of the things I've seen. That I would give anything to see again.
Se escucha muy fingida su voz, no se escucha de un viejo.
Perhaps I could be your eyes, your witness of those Maya ruins.
You could at that, yes.
Do you remember where the ruins were?
Now, where were they? I remember a pool fed by 3 waterfalls. I wish I could give you better directions, but it's been so many years.
I should be able to find it, and when I do, I'll come back and tell you all about it.
Oh, if you could do that for me, touch that history, I would be so...
Say no more, Manu. I'll find it.
Pues creo que es la última tumba del DLC. Ah, no mames, me falta un pinche documento. A ver, ¿y la tumba dónde está? Ah, es aquí. A ver. No. ¿Ya la hice?
I hope you've shined up those dancing shoes, Manu. I found the ruin. It was Maya, an ancient aqueduct.
Ah, creo que ya había
It
ido.
was wonderful, just as you'd imagined.
I knew you would.
Y luego.
Tell me everything.
The ruins had flooded because of the earthquake. I swam through tunnels teeming with peril.
Go on.
I found a vast cavern and a stone tower with massive heads carved into its sides.
The Lords of Xibalba, right? Incredible. What else?
It must have been an aqueduct of some kind. And you'll never believe this. Most of the machinery is still functional. Water wheels, 3 men high, turned as smoothly as the day they were built. It was amazing to see, Manu. To be so close to all that history where no one has set foot in hundreds of years.
I see it. I can smell it, feel it, taste it. You've brought tears to an old man's dry eyes. I can't thank you enough. I'd like to give you something.
Manu, I couldn't.
Please, I insist. It's the first relic I ever found. It's beautiful and intricate. A decorated skull. I'd like someone who has the same passion for exploring that I did as a young man to have it. Don't ever let anything kill your sense of curiosity and wonder.
I won't. Thank you, Manu.
Pues creo que ya la acabé. A ver,
An
vamos a ver qué me dio.
adhesive made of tree sap and powdered bone hold the jade and other gems in place within the wearer's
¿Y
teeth.
esos dientes de
A
rapero qué?
crude drill, perhaps made of obsidian, would have been used to delicately carve out the notches required to hold the jewelry in place.
Ok. Y luego, ¿ya acabó? Vamos al campamento. Aquí ya tengo 3 puntos para subir aquí. Ah, no, de hecho tengo 5. Ok, entonces voy a comprar... voy a comprar este de aquí, miren. No, ¿saben qué? Voy a comprar este de acá. Para que duren más las pociones. Y ahora... voy a checar lo de la prenda que nos dieron. ¿Cuál es? Es esta. Listo. Vamos a volver a ponernos el que traíamos. Creo que era este. No. Era broken. No. Este. Y voy a hacer un viaje rápido. Pero creo que no se puede, ¿eh? Creo que voy a tener que ir. Voy a tener que ir corriendo. A ver. Por acá. Ok. Vamos a buscar este documento. Ay, cabrón. Ojalá que esté bajito. Creo que sí está cerca. A ver, vamos a ver. Si no voy a tener que volver a subir. Sí, voy a tener que bajar. Vamos a darle para arriba. Era por aquí. Ahorita rápido subimos. Más para ver qué es lo que dice el documento. Por acá. Hola Lara. Estamos todo el día. Yo estoy viejito y me va a empezar a dar sueño. Ok. Más para arriba. Ah, mira, aquí hay algo. ¿Es este? No, ¿por dónde? Ah, mira, aquí estaba. Qué güey. Estaba medio escondidito.
I know now that I am not the chosen one. Now I fear I have endangered the lives of Brother de la Cruz and the Sisters of the Mission. They do not know that the hollow earth surrounding the mission is home to demons, cruel, hissing creatures with twisted claws and sick, yellowed eyes. I came to this place to purge them from the world, in the name of Angel de la Cruz, to win his favor and earn my seat at his side. But I have failed. I could not contain this evil, and now it is out, and all warning of it will die down here with
Se
me.
murió ese compa. Culto de la cruz. Y vamos para arriba. Ahora sí creo que ya puedo seguir con la historia, ¿eh? Por acá. Ahorita checo el mapa. Sube. Sube. Muy bien. A ver. Entonces. Me falta una reliquia, aquí en esta zona, pero quién sabe dónde esté. De hecho me marca que falta una, No se ve que esté por acá. Acá tampoco. Aquí ya tengo todo. Por ahí ha de estar, pero a mí se me hace que tiene que ver con esta misión. Entonces, pues voy a ir a la misión principal, que es esta. Que igual me faltan un par de cositas, unos documentos. ¿Qué es esto? Lo de los esqueletos. Yo aquí están los documentos ya marcados. A ver, vámonos. Vamos acá. Es aquí. En un School Cave. A ver. Tengo que hablar con el Manu.
I won't be long.
Ok, ya estamos en la recta final, amigos. Vamos a checar una última cosa antes. Seek out the old cast. Sí, lo tengo, no sé por qué dice que lo... Ya dice 100%, está bugueada la misión, ¿o qué? Qué raro. Bueno, pues vamos a darle, ¿no? A darle fin a esto. A ver qué tan largo está. Estamos en 89%.
How is the plan coming together, Lee?
We have options. Uchu?
Kukulkan's army will follow the Sakbe to the Great Stone Bridge to reach the pyramid. If we approach them head-on, we have the best chance to intercept them, but we could easily be overwhelmed.
If we go in this way, it'd be more secure. But our timing would have to be perfect, or they'd slip through our fingers.
Can we do both? If we approach head-on, I can go around the other way and act as a sniper.
They'd be trapped.
No approach is without risk, but I believe this is the best option.
Good. Then, on your order.
Gather the troops. Let's go.
Ya se van a armar los putazos.
This is where we part. Your path lies that way. Lara, I want you to have this. For luck.
Lee, I can't.
After
Son los
today,
aretes, ¿no?
the eclipse will no longer represent
O
us.
son como un
We
coligio.
keep the sun, but you remove the shadow.
Thank you. Be careful, Jonah.
You too, little bird.
Ponte al tiro, Yona, no te quiero estar salvando como siempre.
Etzli gave me half of Unaratu's eclipse amulet. I get the moon, and he kept the sun. I suppose this means he expects to remove the darkness over Paititi. Tall order. I hope I don't let them down.
Vámonos. Toma airecito. Hace bien loco esto. Vámonos. Ay, cabrón. Toma airecito. Está descargando todo esto. Ah, ya. ¿Y ahora qué? ¿Por qué está cayendo todo? ¿Pero por qué pasó eso? ¿O qué? Ay, güey, ¿qué es esto?
Jonah, I made it. I see the bridge. Shit!
They blow the bridge. We'll find another way around.
Claro, como
Do you see
siempre.
that red smoke?
Yeah.
I'm gonna check it out.
Me voy para allá.
Unaratu said that the Crimson Fire was her destiny.
Okay. Don't take too long.
Commander, this is Cardinal 2. Bridge has been taken out.
Good. Team leaders coordinate with vehicular support. Cardinal 2,
Se están
here's our eyes.
peleando.
Copy that. Remember, people, any structural opening is a potential enemy vector. This is Cardinal 8. Visual on hostiles. Changing course heading 105.
Casi me caigo. Corre, corre, corre.
More helicopters. Their shield. Trinity's hunting them.
¿Y ahora?
Establish kill zone and hold them off the temple and
¡No! ¡Sí aventé mi gancho! Chinga.
Their shield. Trinity's hunting them.
Que lo aventé. ¿Me tardé o lo aventé muy rápido? Ahí está.
remember, they attack from all angles. Any structural opening is a potential enemy vector.
¿Qué elefantes o qué pedo? ¿Por qué escuchas?
Hold the outer citadel.
¿Y ahora? Vamos a aventarnos por aquí.
Good progress so far. We are losing a lot of people. All units, stay away from the walls. Stick with your comrades. Overlap your fields of fire.
Ok.
The source of the smoke. I can reach it.
Ojo abajo. No me tiren. Ahí está.
When the Crimson Fire smokes, seek your mirror. Was this Unaratu's destiny?
Ah, qué miedo.
You're the Crimson Fire. I think we're supposed to work together to defeat Kukulkan. Khan.
What?
You shall.
Ura, y eso. ¿Qué le pasó a esa mujer? ¿Qué clase de demonio es ese? Ay, güey, se ve muy creepy esto. Pausa, pausa. Ah, sus garras. What? ¿Qué está pasando aquí, amigos? What?
Descendants of the creators of the Key of Shakshal and the Silver Box of Ishal. In the centuries since Lopez stole the box 400 years ago, they lost their purpose. Now they protect the site where the ritual of the Silver Box will take place. Even though their minds have faded, their purpose remains intact. They will fight and repel anyone entering the holy city of the Serpent. They are led by a priestess known as the Crimson Fire. She represents Shakshal, and along with Ishal, she is charged with completing the ritual of the Silver Box and guiding Ishal in her sacrifice of the sun's power. Once it is completed, the Crimson Fire and all the Yashil will return to the heavens, where the key and the box were forged.
Oh, qué loco. Está muy chido el personaje, la neta.
What? I hope you know what you're doing.
Me too.
Commander, we have eyes on Croft with the E-shield. What? Don't get distracted. Take her out.
Está muy loquito esto, amigos. Ah, cabrón, me trajeron los tanques. Ay, cabrón. Perros, aguanten. Oh, se ve muy loco eso. F. No, pues vámonos. Ah, mira, ese se lo chingaron.
We did it. We've cleared the way to the temple.
We're pushing through too. Almost there. Where's Dominguez?
He's inside the temple. We're so close.
Wow.
Thank you, Kukulkan, for this gift of renewal. We are prepared to receive your power.
¿A que no, carnal? Ya llegué.
They're with you? This ritual is mine to complete. They've chosen wrong. It's all wrong.
No! It was always theirs. Give us the box.
No. Never. I must protect Paititi.
We all create destiny. Not just you. All of us. Together.
Headstrong to the end. Attack!
Desgraciados. Ah, eso me escapó. Bueno, ya es mi turno de entrar a los putazos. Vámonos. Ah, desgraciados. Ay, cabrón, me voy a morir. Ay, güey. ¿Cómo le doy a ese carnal? Ok. Quedaste, amigo. Qué bueno, me caía mal ese güey. Pues me quedé sin municiones, amigos. Así que ahora toca continuar por aquí. Ah, bueno, ¿saben qué? A lo mejor estos güeyes traen. A ver. Miren, sí traen.
All full up. Can't carry any.
Ah, este men también debe traer. No. Tampoco.
Jonah, Rock is dead. I'm going after Dominguez to stop the ritual.
Miren aquí. Ah, ahí está. Me van a dejar aquí comprar skill. A comprar este. ¿Poder cambiar ahorita el atuendo? No, yo creo que no. Vamos a dejarlo así. Vamos así con esto. Wow. Ah, mira. Una estatua de la Shark Shape.
The High Council is being overrun. We need a...
¿Y ahora? Para arriba.
The High Council's been fired. Commander Rourke, we need your orders.
Para arriba, ¿no? Sí.
What? And who the fuck's in charge? Fall back! Fall back! All units, fall back! What about the perimeter? There is no perimeter! Everyone's dead! Just get the fuck out of here!
Ah. ¿Es para arriba? Sí. ¡No! Ah, me moví para el otro lado. A ver. Ahí está. Chinga. A ver, aguanta. Aguante. Ahí está. Se alocó mi control. Ay, no, está cayendo esto. Corre. Toca arriba. Ahí está. Bueno, ya creo que ya llegamos. Ahí
Let
está.
the sun hit. In the darkness erase the world we have known. Let the shadow pass, and the light shine again on the world of our creation.
Oh, no.
The power of Kukulkan.
What? Ok, creo que voy a tener que pelear con este güey. The fuck?
Destroy any who would destroy your power and potential. Kukulkan, protect, guide,
Carnalito.
help us reshape and create, empower and elevate.
I have to release the energy trapped inside them. All fill up.
A ver, vamos a ver. Vamos a...
Let the shadow pass, and and the light shine again on the world of our creation.
Esta madre.
The darkness betrays the world we have known. Find her. She must not interfere.
¿Te vas a acercar o qué, perro?
Hey, we take control of our destiny.
Vamos a tomarlos. ¿Ya no hay nadie? No. Solo son 3, creo. Ay, cabrón. ¿Ya no hay nadie? No. Ya este es el último.
Nothing will stop me. Remaking the world.
Ahora, desgraciado.
Today we take control of our destiny.
Oh. Ah, ven aquí, perro. ¿Lloran? ¿Qué está pasando este güey? ¿Se acercó?
Can't match a god.
O segundo round.
I have allowed you to live. No more. I thought you were smart.
Aquí, nene.
Mighty is mine to protect, not hurt. I thought you were smart.
Ay, cabrón. Maldita sea. Ya muerte. Ando buscando las... Aquí está esta. No, ay cabrón, que se me chinga el desgraciado. Ya, ahora sí muérete. Ya se murió.
I'm sorry.
Protect my titty.
O sea, hizo todo ese desmadre para al final rendirse. Ah, cabrón. Ah, me deslumbra.
To claim her treasure, the adventurer, Lara Croft, must outwit the king.
Outwit the king? I think the king might have something to say about that.
My loves! Will you hold still for a second?
Yes, my white queen. One.
Can I see?
Of course. There's you, and me, and your dad.
Where are we?
Hawaii.
With this key and the silver box, we can remake the world. Without weakness, cruelty.
If you had that power, what would you do?
My brave girl, who is not expecting a jaguar attack.
Where shall we go next for our real adventure? I hear the Antarctic is lovely this time of year.
Dad.
Oh no, well then perhaps the salt flats of Utah.
Oh, Richard. I know where we're going. You do? Hawaii.
Oh yes, yes, that could be really nice. Well, in that case.
Goodbye, Mom. Goodbye, Dad.
No. You're my research assistant.
Oh yes, you're quite right. I was just waiting on almost myself.
I request that you bring me to the museum.
Well, I think that can be arranged by your new schedule.
When the catastrophes come, the god Kukulkan must be sacrificed to power the sun. Otherwise, the world dies.
Sacrifice a god?
¿Qué?
The sacrifice is my duty. But if my training fails me, the Crimson Fire will guide me and hold me to my promise.
I like this world. It's not perfect. But everything I love now is in it.
After today, the eclipse will no longer represent us. We keep the sun, but you remove the shadow.
Oh.
Protect Paititi. Please. Please, Lara.
I will.
What? Two days later.
Uraratu. My mother, a warrior, a rebel, a queen. She will be venerated for generations. I miss you. Now, we will heed her spirit to reunite Paititi.
Thank you.
So I'm head back to Kwakyaku tomorrow.
Really? Missing the jungle? Off in search of the elusive fish tree?
Abby and I are headed to the coast for a few days.
I'm glad.
What about you?
I think I'll stay here for a while longer.
And restore a few more artifacts?
Don't know.
So what will you do?
I don't know. Etzli will help me figure it out. He'll let me know what Paititi needs to rebuild.
Wow.
I'm done searching. I want to be around the living.
All right.
Don't you have to pack or something?
Now you are stuck with me till tomorrow.
You're welcome to stay as long as you wish, Lara. Safe travels, Jonah. Once Paititi is restored, perhaps I can join you and learn more about the world beyond Paititi.
O sea, ese ya es el final de la trilogía.
You too, Uchu?
No he escuchado que vayan a hacer otro.
So, Jonah, Lara tells me you have a girlfriend. We will come to the wedding.
Etzli, why don't you show me the plans for the
Yes.
Listo. Me dieron 2 logros. Créditos. ¿Les puedo hacer skip? Sí se puede.
I had it all wrong. I thought that taking control of my life meant venturing out to do something extraordinary. I thought I had to fix everything. But the mysteries of the world are to cherish more than to solve. I'm just one of their many protectors. I'm not sure what the future has in store, Jonah, but whatever adventure's on the horizon, I can't wait to meet it. I'll try not to take myself too seriously.
Tea, Miss Croft.
Lovely.
Ah, final feliz.
For now, it just feels good to be home.
Increíble. Impresionante. Qué pedolao. Y luego ya acabó. Me van a regresar otra vez al mapa. Ahí está, New Game Plus. 9639. A ver, ¿qué me falta? Ya tengo todo esto. Tenemos todo el del DLC. Vamos a regresarte rápido, ¿no? ¿Y qué haces viéndome? Ah. Pero ya no trabajas a esta hora, ¿o sí? ¿O mañana le sigues? ¿O qué show? Voy por este documento. Chinga, ¿cómo se llega ahí? ¿Cómo lo haré para ir por esa madre? A ver. Según esto está por acá. ¿Está aquí adentro? Acá, mucho documento no. Qué raro que no me hubiera agarrado. Ahí luego.
29th of November, 1603. After dinner, Lopez left the city. I followed, worried he might not return. I found him standing by the riverbank, lips moving as though in prayer. Not wishing to disturb him, I waited. His communion with God must have lasted through the night, and I regret to admit I fell asleep, for the next thing I knew, Lopez stood smiling serenely over me, the morning sun behind him, creating a halo. He helped me to my feet and clasped me in a strong embrace. Truilos, I know where to find the artifact, he whispered in my ear.
Ok. Entonces ya está este. Nos falta... ¿Qué es eso? Los documentos. Y... ¿Qué es eso? Son estas... Caché... Documentos. Vamos a ir acá a este. Mira, no había entrado aquí. Hola Norita, aquí distrayéndome un ratito. ¿Cómo estás? Tomb Raider, Shadow de Tomb Raider. Que en realidad ya acabé el juego, ahorita nada más voy así como a ver qué onda con unos documentos que encuentras en el juego. Como para ver pues sí, a ver qué onda con la historia extra. De hecho, estaba viendo que aquí todavía tengo otra misión. Ahora voy para allá. Muy bien. Sí, ya es tardecito. De hecho, ya, yo también ya, en un ratito ya le llego a dormir. Para mañana tengo un proyectillo pendiente. Entonces mañana le sigo. No, no te creas, yo desde hace una hora ya tengo sueño, nada más porque estoy jugando, pero...
I don't have enough space for that.
A ver, esta señora que vende.
How do you do?
Check out what I've got.
No man. 8:30, pero ¿ya estás trabajando o qué? O sea, ¿ya estás como... o estás de freelance?
Good deal. That's a good deal for both of us. I'm sure you will be satisfied. Good deal. I'm sure you will be satisfied.
O sea, o sea, te estás aventando freelance y aparte chambas
That's a good deal
extras.
for both of us.
Qué chambeadora. No, pues yo ahorita nomás así como lo que caiga de freelance. Sí he buscado chamba, pero la
Come
neta
back
es que
soon,
no...
please.
Entre que no hay cosas buenas y entre que no... No, o sea, he tenido entrevistas y todo, pero no se ha armado nada. Platypus. Ah, ok, ya. Muy bien. Pues sí, a ver, si no, pues ya tendrás que buscarle otro.
Manos competentes que vengan a ayudarnos a reconstruir. Y la diócesis envía turistas. Esta pared no resistirá mucho.
Sí, pues mira, la verdad es que estoy tranquilo en casa. Ahorita como que... O sea, sí, obviamente el dinero pues está chido estar recibiendo lana, pero tampoco es como que me falte, ¿no? Pero igual me preocupa así como el próximo año, ¿no? Entonces, pues lo que caiga ahorita es bueno. A ver. Sí, o sea, ahorita con ahorro, pues no tengo bronca. La cosa va a ser el próximo año, ahí sí ya la voy a pensar un poquito. Chinga esa tumba, qué pedo. Hmm. Sí, sí. Pues más bien el próximo año, digo, ojalá para mediados, se pueda ya hacer como algún viajecito o algo así. Porque la neta es que sí tengo ganas de salir con ella, pero pues ahorita no nos animamos, a hacer nada de eso, de ese tipo de viajes. A ver si el próximo año ya se puede, como para septiembre, octubre. Ah, sí, es que sí, por ejemplo, nosotros tenemos un buen de ganas de ir a Mérida, bueno, a Yucatán y a Oaxaca, pero pues o sea, ahorita, pues, o sea, ni siquiera lo hemos planeado ni nada, porque, pues, o sea, tampoco quisiera como hacer un plan desde ahorita porque pues, no sé qué va a pasar el próximo año. Entonces igual si ya llegara a salir sería como a la mera hora, ¿no? Así como planearlo de, no sé, un mes antes o algo así. Mm. Qué raro esta cosa. Okay. Sí. Un virus del océano. Pero pues sí, de hecho, pues igual, o sea, había estado pensando en el Pixelatl y eso que se supone que ahorita ya anunciaron que sí iba a haber. Pero pues igual, o sea, yo creo que veremos. Digo, yo espero que sí se arme, ¿no? Pero también no sé si lo van a hacer más chico o qué tipo de medida van a agarrar, ¿no? Sí, no, la verdad es que pues el virtual no fue como mi hit. O sea, la verdad es que sí vi, yo creo que unas 2, 3 conferencias ya fue como demasiado. Entonces, pues no sé, ojalá sí sea presencial y se pueda ir, ¿no? Este, mi novia es diseñadora, entonces igual, pues sí, puede haber 2, 3 cosillas que le pueden interesar. Digo, lo de ella no es la ilustración, pero pues igual, o sea, si se puede, pues estaría chido y ya me la llevo y ya cotorremos por ahí. Sí, seguro sí le va a gustar. Digo, independientemente de, pues no sé, o sea, seguro va a encontrar como algo ahí que le guste. Sí, sí. Y digo, ella es así como muy curiosa, entonces realmente pues, todo le llama la atención, ¿no? Entonces, sí, igual, o sea, le he platicado mucho del evento y todo. Entonces, pues yo espero que si se hace, pues ya estaremos ahí dando el rol en Cuernavaca. Y si no, pues ya nos veremos en otro lado. O vamos a Guadalajara y ya los vamos a saludar por allá. Sí que sí. Pero pues sí, otro Mazamitla estaría bien, fíjate. Digo, así como, ahora sí que un encerrón, jaja, en un pueblillo. Ese sí estaría chido. Con híjole, es que, bueno, sí. Digo, es que con esta madre está cabrón. Porque imagínate que nos reunimos todos y uno va enfermo. Y vale verga, todo el mundo se enferma. Sí, ya hasta que pase, o sea, ese tipo de encerrón, sí, ya hasta que pase. Pero pues igual estaría padre. Así es, Minoris. Pues a ver. Digo, o sea, por ejemplo, ahorita Navidad, o sea, la vamos a pasar nada más aquí en mi casa. Navidad y fin de año, o sea, ni siquiera así como ver a algún familiar o algo así, no, nada de eso. Ah, ok. Nos vemos. Ya voy de salida. Ya acabé esta madre y ya me voy a acostar. Ya es hora. Mucho juego. ¿A poco? Más a... Igual, nos vemos. Ahí luego me paso a tu stream. Que ya te vi que andabas haciendo Bueno, ya vi cuando ya había acabado, pero vi que andabas haciendo una ilustración. Cuídate, descansa. You heroes. Chao. Vamos a quitar el jueguillo. A ver este videito, ¿no? ¿O qué? Que este me lo quedé pendiente.
We bought them.
Do you have roosters around you?
We unboxed them.
They have extra. Oh, why?
We trialed their tech support.
Oh! I managed to pull it out all the way.
And now, in our final act, we're benchmarking all 6 of our systems to see which PC integrator offered us the most bang for the buck when it comes to gaming and streaming performance. But, as regular viewers of this series have probably come to expect by now, there's a lot more here than meets the eye. Like thanking D-Brand for sponsoring this series.
Sponsor.
They're cool and you're not. More on that later. Alienware. I mean,
Dell.
After a wholly unimpressive sales and support experience, our Dell surprisingly at least came with the latest version of Windows, the latest Windows Update and video drivers, and also the usual slew of Dell support software, including everyone's favorite, McAfee Antivirus, which we promptly uninstall. Wait a minute. 12-month subscription. What? Did they actually end up charging us for that after we said not to? No way.
Well, not exactly. Dell seems to include a 1-year subscription to McAfee on their G5 desktops for free, so that's alright, I guess. But here's the problem. First of all, any mention of a discount disappeared from our order entirely. And if you load up a G5 on Dell's website, spec it out with the appropriate hardware, fun fact, you can actually choose a dual-channel memory kit for no added cost.
Okay.
You end up with a system that costs just over $1,600 Canadian, not anywhere near the $2,000 we spent. Oh, and remember the warranties they tried to sell us, which we actively declined multiple times?
So that's the reason we are suggesting you to take the warranty?
Oh, no!
So you will have complete peace of mind.
Well, they're still on the invoice, just under much more obscure names. So,
Desgraciados.
Did we actually get them? And I went to check our warranty status, and sure enough, it has 4 years of extended on-site warranty and 4 years of premium support, which, if you add both to the online configurator,
4 años de
would bring
premium
the total
support.
to just $2 off what we spent.
So they straight up charged us for something we told them we didn't want?
It gets better. For the icing on the cake, on Dell's site, you can't even select both of the warranty packages the rep included at the same time. It only lets you order one.
So, in summary then, not only did the Dell sales rep straight up scam Agent Sarah, and by extension me, out of over 300 Canadian rubles on services that we said we didn't want, they managed to deliver a system with the worst expandability, the least resilient packing material, zero upgradability
Qué
for
asco.
either the power supply or motherboard thanks to the proprietary case, and nearly the worst performance of the bunch. More on that later. They even failed to help with a routine tech support problem over the phone. I am straight up furious. Like, Dell, you guys told us that Secret Shopper 2018 was going to be part of a service and support overhaul, but it obviously didn't happen. And while many of our viewers have been quick to blame the representatives that we spoke with, I believe this is actually a systemic problem. It is no secret that forcing employees to rely on selling services like financing to make their commissions creates this kind of negative customer experience. Honestly, it felt like shopping at a We Finance All used car lot, and it sucked. Dell, you came in dead last. Way to go, losers. Based on the ordering and tech support experience, and the actual spec of our system, our other Tier 1 HP, on the other hand, looked very promising. But both Windows and the NVIDIA drivers were nearly a year out of date from the time of ordering. I mean, I get it. They were probably clearing old 9th gen stock after the launch of their 10th gen Omen desktops, but it's not the best experience to spend an hour updating your brand new system. In terms of build quality, it was great to see a mostly non-proprietary setup from HP though, and there were no apparent restrictions in terms of swapping in off-the-shelf components. The secondary front storage bay came with both power and SATA data already run to it for an easy storage upgrade, and the 750 watt 80 plus platinum power supply is standard ATX. Continuing with the trend last time around, HP's Omen Command Center still does basically nothing. I mean, you do at least get some control over the included chassis RGB, but aside from the utterly useless network optimizer, there's nothing really to command in there. The rest of the pre-installed software is the usual complement of HP support stuff, along with a 30-day McAfee trial, which we uninstalled. As for the BIOS, it's limited to a basic HP support setup with only system tests and information pages available until you open up the advanced menu, which isn't that advanced, adding only some basic power, I/O, and boot options. The main issue we had last time around with HP's config was the heavily limited boost clocks on the CPU. And unfortunately, these same issues are still present. I mean, how is that even possible? Stressing the CPU with Y-Cruncher, a pi calculation tool, we started at around 4,300 megahertz. All right. But then our temps immediately climbed into the high degree range, which is, I guess, okay. And then after a few seconds, with no appreciable spin up in the CPU fan, our clocks would drop to around 3,700 megahertz, and the CPU would draw exactly 65 watts of power, which happens to be the rated TDP of this chip. Now, we thought that it might be some kind of power virus mitigation, so we loaded up the Blender BMW test, and unfortunately, it exhibited the same behavior. As for the GPU, with FurMark running, HP's stock configuration for this system had the GPU's blower fan spinning at just 60% speed, with temperatures hovering in the high 80s and the card clocking down below its base speed. We tried manually tweaking the fan curve in Afterburner, and while it did yield better temperatures, the clocks remained the same due to power limitations. Now, you can bypass these, but it's just confusing, right? Like, why is HP intentionally handicapping both the CPU and GPU in a gaming branded system? For noise? I mean, like, okay, but HP, there are other ways to solve this. Maybe, just maybe, a single 92mm exhaust fan isn't enough for a powerful gaming rig. With how well HP performed during the rest of the purchasing experience, and with how good the system was on paper, this was kind of a letdown, but we'll let the performance numbers make the final call. On to iBuyPower. This system also came with Windows 1909 from late last year, but their NVIDIA drivers weren't quite as bad as HP at only 5 months or so old. On the inside, you'll probably notice this, like the rest of our remaining systems, was pieced together strictly with off-the-shelf components, so there's nothing proprietary like we found in particularly the Dell. It also seems like this is the one manufacturer so far that listened to our criticism from last time around. You might remember that we were disappointed in the complete lack of cable management from iBuyPower in 2018. Well, this year, the cables behind the motherboard tray were managed about as well as you can expect from a pre-built, and for bonus points, the fans were plugged into the correct ports this time. That's sarcasm, by the way. You don't get bonus points for not screwing up. It's also the first of our systems to come with a Ryzen CPU, specifically the 8-core 3700X. During our Y-Cruncher stress test, the iBuyPower machine maintained a consistent all-core boost of 4.1 GHz at just over 70 degrees. Not quite the 4.5 GHz max boost that AMD advertises, but this is about what we would expect on an all-core synthetic load like this on Ryzen. The GPU, an MSI RTX 2070 Super with a decent dual-fan cooler, managed to maintain clock speeds higher than base in our Firmark test, and temps were in the low 80s, as you'd expect on an NVIDIA card with GPU boost. This system also featured dual-channel memory, and it's worth noting that while none of our tech support agents instructed us to re-enable XMP profiles after our phone calls, we did go ahead and do this for this system and the rest of them that allowed it, so that every system was putting its best foot forward, and we even set our power plans in Windows to high performance. Back to the BIOS though. On the included ASUS X570P, it was 2 revisions or about 4 months old as of ordering it, which would be unlikely to make much of a difference in performance, especially this late in Ryzen 3000's life cycle. But BIOS updates usually do improve system stability and compatibility, especially with the BIOS de AMD. So it's one of those things that's just a nice touch and would make us think, wow, you know, these guys really care. Overall, a very solid job so far, iBuyPower, and assuming that you didn't somehow handicap your gaming performance, it seems like this is your race to lose. CyberPower PC. Oh boy. Well, for the second season in a row, they effectively didn't provide us with any guidance on the ordering experience.
I really don't know what you need or what you do not need.
Oh! There we go! But we did at least manage to get a system from them. As we noted in the unboxing experience, this machine did experience some minor shipping trauma, but CyberPower did at least ship over replacement panels at our request for no extra cost, so I'm going to put a little gold star right there. For the record though, CyberPower, you need to make sure that you test your packing material because you were probably a good 2 inches on the backside from being thick enough, if you know what I mean. Software-wise, this system also shipped with a near year-old Windows 10 build, but with AMD graphics drivers that were only 3 months old. Not terrible, still not great. Oddly enough though, we struggled to find any indication that this system came from CyberPower in the operating system. They didn't even bother to set a branded wallpaper. The only clue that we did end up finding was their support information listed in the About Your PC section of Control Panel. Aside from the external shipping damage though, the overall build quality is on par with the iBuyPower system we just looked at, and CyberPower spent the extra time to clean up the back of the motherboard tray and overall present a pretty decent looking rig. Our only recommendations here would be to opt for a power supply with all black cables, some better color coordination on the memory, and to go for an NVMe SSD. That last one is the biggest, especially in a system that costs $1,400. The Intel 10700K boosted nicely between 4.6 and 4.7 GHz under full synthetic load while maintaining a cool 68 degrees. And on the flip side, during our Firmark stress test, the ASRock RX 5700 XT, which was the only AMD GPU in our lineup, reached a smoldering 87 degrees while hovering slightly below its advertised base clock. On the plus side though, the BIOS version was at least the latest available as of the order date, so that's cool. Now are y'all ready to see the slowest PC out of the bunch? Whether it's the fact that their cheapest system barely fit into our budget in the first place, or the fact that they have to spec a lower than default case to make it work, it's no secret that Origin doesn't cater to peasants who only have $1,500 to spend on a gaming system. It shipped with the latest major build of Windows 10 and the most up-to-date NVIDIA drivers we've seen yet, just over a month old. Dang. With the only shortcoming being the BIOS, which was 1 revision old. Again, not expecting any performance issues, it's just a little disappointing when you're paying this much for a system to be set up properly. They were, however, the only company to save a pre-configured BIOS profile, which included both XMP settings as well as some tweaks to the fan curves. Like everyone else in this competition though, they failed to instruct Agent Sarah to enable their profile after our RAM reseating debacles, so oopsie. Cable management up front is the best that we've seen so far, and it better be. But around back, while it was on par with the other systems, it didn't wow me. You know, something that I was hoping for at this kind of markup on assembly. The 10400 processor that came in our system stayed super cool at just 62 degrees with the excessive included AIO water cooler, and maintained a respectable 4 GHz on all cores, just like what Origin has listed on their site. And while running Firmark, the 1660 Ti managed reasonable temps and a small bump over base clocks, which, well, is unsurprising for this size of a cooler on a GPU that draws this little power. It comes down to this then. Origin, if you're gonna sell systems in this price bracket, you should at least try to offer some sort of reasonable value. It doesn't need to ship in a wooden crate, I don't need a $50 Visa card, and I don't need the mouse pad and t-shirt. That is easily $100 to $150 in value that I would have rather you guys just put towards, well, a better computer. Or just be expensive and own it like Voodoo used to. If I click on the $1,500 system, you should just have a little pop-up that says, oh, I'm sorry, you must have taken a wrong turn. Last but not least, main gear. The first time around on Secret Shopper, we struggled to find anything wrong with the build quality of the system they sent us. And again, that seems to be the case. Cable management is solid, the cooling layout makes sense, and they even zip-tied the extra slack on the CPU fan. Nice. Speaking of the CPU fan, underneath it, as you might have guessed, is another Ryzen CPU, specifically a 3600X 6-core. Under our Y-Cruncher synthetic load, it maintained a reasonable 80 degrees with all core boost clocks around 4.1 GHz, just like the 3700X in the iBuy system, and that is right about what we'd expect. In Firmark, the not factory overclocked GPU boosted about 100 MHz over base, with temps in the 80 degree range. What's interesting here, though, is that while the actual margin that Main Gear charged us, that is to say the price over the parts cost, is nearly the same as Origin, they managed to deliver a better overall spec system by quite a lot, which should theoretically perform noticeably better. I do wish they had opted for an NVMe SSD for a system in this price range, but other than that, it's a pretty nice build if you can swallow what basically boils down to a $350 build and service fee. So in summary, this video is pretty long already, so if you want to see all the specs, hit pause now. The main highlights for me are HP and iBuy's inclusion of an RTX 2070 Super GPU and NVMe boot SSD.
Cyber power.
And that's all without making crippling compromises to the config elsewhere. Another standout was Main Gear and iBuy's use of AMD processors to deliver better bang for the buck. Remember guys, the motherboards are also typically more affordable at a given feature set if you go Team Red. Many of our manufacturers ended up wasting money on things that I wouldn't consider necessary, like liquid cooling on non-overclockable CPUs, or Origin's inclusion of an overclocking capable motherboard with a locked CPU. Surprisingly though, RGB didn't end up being an obvious value killer, with iBuy managing to include as much or more RGB than anyone else, while also shipping the best spec'd machine. Specs are cool and all, how do they perform? To no one's surprise, iBuy's superior config offered the greatest performance overall, with the HP and CyberPower systems trailing slightly behind.
El CyberPower no estaba tan mal.
We can easily see the benefit that AMD cards have in F1 2020, as CyberPower's 5700 XT managed to outperform even the 2070 super equipped machines, and then was on par in Modern Warfare. So if you don't care about game streaming or features like RTX voice, it's a pretty solid option. It's also clear that HP's power limitations did hurt them here, even in real-world applications, because we would expect it to perform on par with the iBuy system, or even better considering its Intel CPU, but it didn't. As for our Main Gear system, it held a respectable lead over both the Dell and Origin, who, no surprises here, both hovered near the bottom. As for streaming though, to test the CPU encoding capacity of each system, we set up every machine to encode a 6 megabit 1080p 60 FPS X264 stream of the F1 2020 benchmark. Then, one by one, increased the encoding quality until the encoding process started to drop frames. Unsurprisingly, our CyberPower, iBuy, and Dell systems were all able to record with the X264 slow preset without any hitches, while our Main Gear system pulled out a reasonable max preset of medium. As you might have predicted, based on the issues we had with power throttling on the HP, it couldn't push anything past the default very fast preset. Yikes! Oh, and the Origin system capped out at fast, which makes sense given its piddly Core i5-10400. Now it's time to crown a winner. For the second time in a row, iBuyPower is taking home the prize. When we last secret shopped them, their tech support was a bit of a nightmare, and it's definitely improved. They technically didn't get our system booted during the call, but they at least diagnosed the problems, and they offered us an RMA to get them fixed. And just like last time, it's very hard to find fault with their recommended config for the money. In second place, I expected to have HP, but due to the severe power limitations that crippled our system's performance, even in gaming, that crown instead goes to Cyberpower. I still think these guys have a lot to learn when it comes to their pre-sales experience, but for a company that seems to sell predominantly through other retailers like Amazon and Best Buy, I can kind of see why it might not be a priority for them. During our tech support calls, they provided video tutorials, which was nice, but their technicians' refusal to stay on the line to guide Agent Sarah is honestly unacceptable in my book. And also, what is this cooling layout? Who designed this thing? It's just weird. I mean, I guess the computer stayed cool enough, but it's going to be a dust nightmare in the long run. In third place, we've got Maingear. Their ordering experience was great, as long as you can accept the fact that you're buying a more boutique system and paying a premium for it. Their customer service experience was second to none, their build quality was excellent, and while they clearly can't compete with a high-volume manufacturer like iBuyPower on price, if you like a quality product with great support, a Maingear might still be right for you. In fourth place, we've got HP. Seriously, guys, you were so close to awesome. The tech support was solid, the ordering experience was solid, but you done goofed the part that actually matters. Performance! Please, HP, figure out what it is that is limiting the power delivery or I don't know what it is. Fix it. Fix it for good. In fifth place, Origin PC. Their ordering and customer service experience was flippin' awesome. It's just that it's only natural for the worst performing system out of the entire competition to end up near the bottom. Yeah, it's well built, and it does come with 24/7 customer service, so I guess if you decide to set up your new rig at 3 in the morning and RAM sticks need reseating, that might be useful. So, like Maingear then, if you want tech support reps that sound like they really do enjoy talking to you, Origin could be a great choice, but you have to understand that you are not getting the best bang for your buck, even among the boutique builders. At least, not in this price bracket. Last, and definitely least, Dell. You guys straight up scammed me out of several $1 million. By selling Agent Sarah warranties she explicitly denied wanting multiple times. It's at the point now where I would strongly recommend that anyone that's bought a pre-built from Dell in the last little while, double check your invoice to make sure that they didn't tack something on there that you didn't know about it. Because I am still f***ing livid about what happened here. Dell, you suck. And you know what else sucks? You! For missing out on the LTTXD brand special edition sticker bomb and
se acabó, amigos.
Do better next time. Yep,
ya me retiro. Mañana, a ver si mañana empiezo el Doom. Pero les aviso. Les aviso y nos vemos. Chao. Cuídense. Gracias.
So that's it. We've wrapped Secret Shopper 2. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Adiós, Linus. Listo.